of our map, King Sage on Station. We have currently teamless player, but still amazing. It is ByuN. And in the top left, we have our extractor tricking red Zerg player. It is Sleep. So Sleep looking like he's gearing up to go for that hatch first play, and that is indeed what's coming down here. And really what I'm wondering from ByuN is if we're going to get to see that Mass Reaper style. Mass Reaper, something that ByuN is so known for and so good at. You know, he's got such great control with those grenades that we got in Legacy of the Void. One of the Terran players who has really sort of mastered that ability, and just seeing him work with it's just stunning. Stunning to see the hits he can land with those grenades. But it kind of does not look like that's what we're going to see here. Likely going to be something a bit more standard. We haven't seen the second barracks come down yet. First Reaper does indeed come out, but yeah, just going to be a Reaper expand. And, you know, having the good mechanics with the Reaper grenade does extend into the small amounts of Reaper control as well, but it's, you know, you don't quite have that same potential with one Reaper as you would with 5 or 7, 30, etc. Yeah, it's going to be a lot more standard of a game than that. Reaper expand into factory. We're going to see that oh so common dance between the Reaper and the Lings and the drones and the queens. And if Sleep's on top of his micro, pretty much nothing will be lost here. But there's always the possibility to lose a Ling or a drone, etc. One Ling does go down here. Yeah, I'm going to try and get that second one. Doesn't quite get it. We will be retreating back here. But now with the queen out, this should be very well defended. There really aren't that many areas for the Reaper to pop up into the main on this map. You basically have... You basically just have these areas over here, as well as the one that Reaper jump up on the back. Oh, it looks like we're going to have possibly some Banshee play coming up here. Widowmine coming out of the factory, but we do have the Tech Lab and the Starport just in the prime switching real estate. Is not the case, though. Not the case, so I'm going to be getting that... I suppose going into a Widowmine drop and then following it up with tank production. Maybe even a Cyclone, but likely just tanks. Yep, there is the siege tank coming down, as well as the third base of Sleep. A very nice move of Sleep over here, knocking down those rocks really early. Helps with the mobility, helps to deal with the drops, all that good stuff. Especially since with the recent Queen buff, Zerg players are a lot more reliant on Queens for that early game defense, which means that having extra mobility is going to be much more important than with a sort of a Ling or a Roach defense force. Really nice cancel of the attack here. And the second one does go off, kills a few larvae, but reposition that Widowmine, trying to make sure it doesn't just go off on the larvae. Yeah, protection does come out in time to deal that. The Spore Root buff actually coming into play there. Now that would have made a huge difference. Does make a slight difference. Ooh, and Sleep's going for a quick three base Muta play, or a 3-base Spire. We don't necessarily know it's Muta yet, but it likely will be. Mutas are a unit that are certainly making a bit of a comeback now that Liberators are less common in the matchup. And this Ling harassment squad's going to loop around, try and find this third base, but it hasn't been landed yet, being built as part of the wall. Nice bit of information to see that it's not down yet, but no harassment can be done unless it's poking at this wall. But with the siege tank on the high ground, it's going to be a dangerous endeavor to try and get him down there. ByuN's drop. Managing to snipe 4 drones at the third base before scooting around to the main. And a dropship in the hands of ByuN is super dangerous. I mean, any Terran with great multitasking abilities, it will be, but ByuN is one of the best for this, so you will be able to get a decent amount of damage done. Since another drone does lose a marine. Drop will be pushed back for now. ByuN is just getting that sweet macro train rolling. And the story from Sleep is a bit different as he's going up into those mutalisks. So I think he's going to be trying to find some holes to poke at, as well as just having something to do with the medevacs on the map. But there really aren't that many exposed areas at the moment. I mean, if you can get in here, you can maybe take out a few add-ons. That'll be nice. But all of the mineral lines are fairly defended. And yes, the mutas are out now, so ByuN does know about it. We'll see if any extra turrets go down. We do have widow mines actually continuing to be made instead of straight siege tank bio. So we'll see where these widow mines are landed. A nice clump of widow mines can really mess up the day of your mutable. Then we've got a small handful of bio coming up here. Sniping is clean, and we might even be able to get some damage done either to these mutas. Yeah, gonna take quite a few mutas there. Focus firing them down in the sky as well instead of on the wings on the ground. So a really nice move, but we'll lose all of these medevacs to do so. At the very least, this red one's going down. Yeah, likely gonna be. Oh, they will escape with that medevac boost, and they're gonna get into the safe area behind that turret. So they should not be following, and all of them escape. So I believe that Sleep probably could have killed at least the one if you didn't get a bit greedy and try and get all of them. You know, focus down on the weak one could have done it, but it was a little further forward, so not quite sure how that interaction would have worked out. The Sleep is just going to get a bunch of banelings, and I think he's just going to try and roll in here. Siege tank on the high ground will still be in position to help defend this, but it is not protecting the third base. And I don't quite know if this baneling bust is going to be working. We don't even have Bane speed in production, let alone anywhere near done. So that's going to be a pretty big deal here. You're trying to hit bio with your banelings off creep against someone who has as good mechanics as ByuN is going to be very, very difficult. If the lane wraparound does come down, Widowmine's burrowing. They're going to try and get their banelings, but no, the banelings detonate on top of them before they can go off. Ling's on top of the third base mineral line, and all the bio is not here to defend. So a lot of these SCVs are going to go down, 7 already, and they do get into the safety of that siege tank range. But this CC has to be lifted. Now that was a fairly big investment from Sleep, so he's not quite as far ahead as that fight would have really shown. But overall, that is a nice, decent amount of damage to be done. We're actually looking at it. ByuN is still up by 12 workers. And then you add the effective mules onto that. It's a pretty big deal. It was a pretty all-in play from Sleep. He did do some damage, but I don't think quite enough. Just picking up for that drop, though. One thing that mutas are so great for. And now we do have the Bane speed coming up. And this wall's actually not finished yet because of that fight interrupting. So it looks like Sleep's gonna try and deal with this third base position once again, forcing the reposition of the army, and then maybe gonna try and go into the natural. But that siege tank as well as the widow mine are still set up, so they're not gonna be able to do that. Oh, and the mutas trying to spread against the liberators, but even with a good spread, a lot of them are gonna go down. Takes out 2 liberators, but I think loses like 6 or 7 mutas to do so. So really not a great trade. The widow mine's gonna go off on these wings, get a lot of kills there. There's still quite a few left over, and they do have the bailing speed now, so they're going to roll in, try and get connections with the Marines, but the splitting is too good. So ByuN takes game 1. There we go. There we go. Keyboard not cooperating with me. But anyway, I believe the sound was not ideal there. We're gonna bring down the music a bit, bring up the sound effects, and hopefully that should be better. But anyway, we're getting into our next game. So let's see it. We're going over to Frost. Okay, yeah, going over to Frost, ByuN gonna be up 1 map against Sleep. And I believe they're both ready. So we're gonna be getting into it. Wait, are they ready? Okay, cool. They are ready. So yeah, we're getting into it. Last minute reminding myself to switch over to referee mode instead of just spectator, just in case I need to say something. But hopefully not. Hopefully they will have an uninterrupted, huge macro game on Frost. Probably still our biggest map in the pool. Anyway, I believe this is going to fix the sound balance. But if not, I'll just do it live. But anyway, in the top left-hand corner of our map, we have the blue Terran player. It is ByuN. And in the top right, once again getting here at the beginning of the extractor trick, or the end of the extractor trick, we have the red Zerg player, Sleep. Whoops. There we go. So ByuN currently up 1-0 in this best of 3. Sleep really needs to claw this back, or he will not be able to continue his run in the ASL-Bacon Infinity Championship Series. And, you know, you might be saying, well, why is that a huge deal? It's just a small weekly cup, but these players are playing for more than just the $50 prize pool. They're also going for points in our monthly finals, which is really even more impactful than the initial prize. I believe this is still a little too loud, so I'm just gonna... Sorry about this, guys. I'm just gonna bring this down a little bit. I had all my settings optimized on the Americas, but of course, because this is the Korean Weekly Cup, we're going over to the Asian server. So hopefully that's better, but please let me know in the chat, because I want to create as optimal of a viewing experience as possible. Once again, ByuN going for that Reaper expand. I'm curious if we'll get to see another Widow Mine drop with that, or if it's going to be more of a switch up into into something you could consider crazy now, like a liberator harassment, or even just the fairly common two medevacs full of Marines push that we see lately. I believe that that style with a hefty chunk of bio into early medevac play might be what we're seeing here, considering we've got the second barracks planted before the factory. Especially with the reactor coming down too. So that could be something we see. And actually a very early baneling nest from Sleep. Now we'll keep an eye on the Ling production, but it looks like Sleep's going to be going for a fairly big baneling bust here. Because we already have a decent number of Lings out on the map, and he's even trying to hide them. 19 hidden in various corners of Sleep's base, but also just 8 more in production. So yeah, this is almost certainly going to be a very large 2-base all-in. And what will ByuN have to help defend against this? Because that factory's a little later than usual, there will be basically no chance of having a siege tank out, especially since this tech lab is researching stim instead of swapping over to that factory, and a reactor even going down on it. So yeah, there will be no siege tanks for this. There will be no Hellions for this, and I think this could just be a kill move. We do have 5 banelings already. And the Lings coming up the ramp is the wall is lifted. But the banelings are here to try and invalidate that. Nice focus down of the baneling by ByuN. Does take that one out so that the wall doesn't go down, and you can try and pull the SCVs to heal this up in time, but 2 more banelings are coming, and if the SCVs are there, then they will just die. Okay, they're going to reinforce the wall and focus down those banelings once again. And I believe this is just going to hold from here on out. That wall-in does get canceled, but there are no more units really here for Sleep. So really nice move by ByuN, holding that all-in pretty much flawlessly. And that is it. That is game. So ByuN takes it 2-0.